guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm on board of the Suzuki SV650X. First things I'm gonna say, I do like this bike. I wasn't very impressed when I heard about it, but now, a few days after riding the bike, for me, at the moment, it's the bike of the year. It's light, powerful enough, and it's in my opinion a really nice looking bike. One thing I don't understand is why they call it the SV650X. Usually when you put an X on the model, it means it's an off-road or a trail bike, and in this case this is a cafe racer. Maybe it's to stand out, I don't know. It should be 650 CR from cafe racer. I don't, but that's a minor thing, it's not my concern. I'll bring you as it is 650X. As I told you, cafe racer style, which means you have a lower handlebar. The support for the handlebar is also different from the standard SV650. Rounded headlights. The levers are colored black, dual tone, black on top, gray, and a red stripe. Also the seat is with a little bit of suturing, which is nice, anti-slippering, and also it has that low shape of the cafe racer, which I kind of like. The seat is comfortable. Let me talk, before talking about the seat, let's talk about it's 790 millimeters, the seat height, which is quite nice for small people. Everyone will be able to reach the floor on this bike without any issues, that I can tell you. And now, returning to the seat is quite comfortable for short rides and everyday commute, but for a long ride, in my opinion, it still needs a little bit more cushion, so it will make the ride more comfortable. Besides that, it's wide enough, I'm well seated, I have no problems, so it is fine. Also, this is a bike that here in Portugal will be available for the driver's license A2, which is limited to 35 kilowatts, so you can adjust this bike. Talking about that, this bike has 75 horsepower. Honestly, I don't know how to translate that in kilowatts, but what I want to say is that you can have this bike as standard or limited to the 35 kilowatts. Also, easy start system, low RPM assistance, really nice dashboard with all the information you need. Basically, you have the RPM, the speed, the gear, you have a clock, you have the total kilometers, you have the fuel level with the range you are able to do with the amount of fuel you have the engine temperature, and you have a little bit more things which are standard, which is trip A, trip B, and also you have consumption. This is the other one is average, this is real time, okay? This is average, 4.6 average, and back to the range. Since I was talking about the consumption and the fuel, this is a 14.5 liters, and as you saw there, it spends around 5 liters, so 5, 10, 15, you're talking about 280 to 300 kilometers top, depending on the way you ride with this tank. And why I'm saying depending on the way you ride, even this being a cafe racer, it is a cafe racer with a lot of punch. This engine, it's amazing. I like the way it is smooth all the way from lower gear until high gear. It's a smooth engine, but this bike is able to reach 190 kilometers an hour. Actually, it's able to reach more, but the top speed I gave it was 190 kilometers. Since I don't have a track to test it, I test it on the road and with traffic, and even so, that was the speed that I was able to give, which was quite nice. Of course, also I like to mention I had to lower myself near to the tank, because as you can see, there is no wind protection on this bike. Therefore, that was the only way I was able to reach those speeds. Okay, since I've parked here the bike, one thing I want to show you that I don't like too much about this bike, it's the steering angle, especially when I want to park the bike in the garage. It's very narrow. You have to do a lot of maneuvers if you want to park the bike in a garage. In this case, in my case, I have a garage. It's a box where I can have one car, and I have my two other motorcycles. And with my other motorcycles, it's quite easily, I can quite easily go forward and back and everything. With this one, I have to go forward and back sometimes, because this steering angle, it's not wide enough. But that's only an issue when I'm parking the bike. Another thing I'm going to talk to you about is the handlebar. You have here turn lights, high beams, low beams, turn signals, hazard lights, horn, and this side kill switch, and the starting of the engine. And basically that's it. Quite normal handlebar, except it's a cafe racer style. Of course, I don't remember, but I think I told you, this bike has ABS, which is the only thing that helps you while riding it. It does not have traction control or anti-wheelie or cornering ABS or other electronics to help you. It's quite simple: handlebar, two wheels, an engine, place to sit and enjoy riding a motorcycle. What else I can talk to you about? I can tell you about that the lights, they are not LED. Let me see what else I can talk to you about. Two things I want to talk to you about that are quite important. It's the gearbox. Gearbox, it's amazing. I like it very much. It's soft, precise, and you will have no problems with it. Another thing in this case that I don't like too much on this bike are the brakes. Okay? The brakes for city and everyday commute, they are fine. They have a good grip, but the main problem for me is that you can go on speeds over 160, 180, 190 kilometers an hour on this bike, and at those speeds, these brakes that come with the bike are not the best for those speeds. I do realize that you are talking about a cafe race style bike. You are not talking about a super bike or a road, super bike. The super bikes usually are the ones who have the best clippers, but since this bike is able to reach those speeds, it should be equipped with better brakes. But that is my opinion. Let me see if this thing changes. so we can continue our review. Okay, it will be changing soon. I don't know where it thinks it's going, but here we go. Oh, I like it. Woo! Ah, let's do this. Another thing, since the bike it's lightweighted and narrow, it's quite easily to go around, I mean in the middle, or I was saying in English it's splitting lanes with the bike. I did split lanes on the Portuguese video, but I am not able to do it now because there is no traffic, but I'm able to show you the nice engine that comes with this bike. Woo! I like it, I like it. Now we just have to be careful. This is a place with radars. Sometimes amazing, this road with all this quality, top speed, legal 50 kilometers an hour. So you can imagine how much the police like to stay here and pass tickets. So let's be reasonable and try not to have a ticket with a bike that is not mine. Riding position, it's good. It's a cafe racer, a little bit, the upper body is a little bit forward. It's not an upright position, but it's very, very comfortable. I've been riding the bike for a few days, like I've told you, and I have no issues with my wrists, no issues on my back, and it's been quite pleasurable to ride. As I said before, this bike started to grow on me. I'm not gonna say it was like the first minute when I picked it up, because that was not the case. It wasn't in the first minute, but you saw that car there was just the police trying to stop someone. Maybe he was speeding, I don't know. Where I was talking about the bike, how it grew on me, not at the first minute, but like say 1 hour, 2 hours after I start to know the bike and looking at it properly, and knowing what it can do, what it can't do. I did, and I do feel it is quite a really nice surprise for the price range, which is around 7,300 euros here in Portugal. And I'm gonna say it again, for me it's the bike of the moment. And you guys can see I do ride lots of bikes, but when I go pick them up, I already know what to expect. When I went to pick up this bike, I had no idea what to expect. I wasn't expecting that much, and the engine just surprised me on a very positive note. And on this note, I'm gonna ask you to subscribe my channel, activate the notification bell, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!